dangerous, real clumsy,
Real loud stroll. Hello there in internet land. This is episode 24 of the F1 Chat. I'm your host, Phil Lamington. Sitting to my left is a man who's told me he's got reasons why he's got reasons about reasons, but he's not going to tell me what those reasons are, but he told us last summer what those reasons were, and that's JB. How you going, JB?
Yeah, look, I'd tell you, but I have reasons. I told you last summer already not to ask me this question.
I've made my stance really clear
I've
about
made
it.
myself really clear about the reasons that you definitely know about, that I'm not going to publicly say, but you definitely know about my reasons.
Because they're reasons.
Because they're my reasons, and I'm very clear about my reasons.
Awesome. And sitting to my right is a man he's going to wait until after the race to make a decision. And that's Longhorn. How are you, my friend?
Why did I have to be thrown in with the mess that is the race director?
Well, because he's got reasons.
He's going to wait till after the podcast to make his decision on how he feels.
about JB's reasons.
Yeah, look, I'll get back to you, hey? Got to
After the
do
race.
a thorough investigation first.
Yeah, simple. Someone cut the quarter. Oh, I have to investigate it after the race.
Need to get his opinion on it once he gets out of the infield.
Right, so we just...
Did we ask Brody, how are you,
How are
mate?
ya? Yeah, he's going to
Yeah, I
give us
said I'll let you know
After the race.
There you go. There you go. All right, we're good.
Fair enough. Right. Oh, God. So, we just watched the Brazilian F1 race, and that was quite an entertaining race. But to give us the blow-by-blow on the first part of the weekend, which was the sprint race, we see the return of the sprint race report with JB. JB, take it away.
Yes, the F1 sprint race format returned this weekend at the Autodromo Carlos Pace, I think it is, in Interlagos, Sao Paulo.
The home of Senna.
Yeah, the home of God.
No, that's Hockenheim. Sorry.
Well, the home of God, and then the big Jesus statue is in Rio, so
It's
it
actually
makes
Montreal,
sense.
Canada.
Whee, go Tiffy. All right, F1 sprint race report. Lap 1. Kevin Magnussen starts on pole position in the Haas. I shit you not. It was brilliant. It was absolutely amazing to watch him take pole. It was so cool.
It was awesome.
Because it was reasons.
Because of reasons.
Yeah,
because of
it
reasons.
There was reasons, actually.
There was
yeah.
reasons.
Well, there was reasons. It was wet, and then it was becoming dry, and Kevin Magnussen just had pace in the Haas on the soft tyres. So he starts on pole position alongside Max Verstappen. K-Mag gets the jump and leads the pack away. Alpine teammates Esteban Ocon and Fernando Alonso make contact out of turn 4. And then again down the front straight, as Fernando loses a part of his front wing and is forced to pit for a new one. Lap 3, Max Verstappen, the only car in the sprint race on medium tyres, passes Kevin Magnussen for the lead of the sprint race. Lap 4, George Russell passes K-Mag into turn 1, followed by Carlos Sainz down the back straight, the Haas's performance disadvantage becoming a factor. Lap 6, Lewis Hamilton swoops past Magnussen as well. Lap 8, Sergio Perez gets past Lando Norris and Kevin Magnussen in consecutive laps. Lap 9, Lance Stroll inexplicably moves recklessly across the track to force Aston Martin teammate Sebastian Vettel off the track and into the grass. The Canadian is handed a 10-second time penalty for dangerous driving. Lap 12 to 15, Max Verstappen and George Russell go wheel to wheel for the lead of the sprint race. George Russell eventually winning out as Red Bull's gamble to start on medium tyres begins to backfire. Alex Albon's Williams clunks out and he's forced to retire. Lap 19, Carlos Sainz dives under Max Verstappen into turn 1. The Ferrari and the Red Bull making contact. The Red Bull suffering end plate damage to its front wing. Lap 20, Lewis Hamilton gets a smug little moment for himself in 2022, passing Max Verstappen into turn 1 for third. And lap 24, George Russell takes his first win for Mercedes, taking the checkered flag and subsequent pole position for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Ferrari's Carlos Sainz finished second with a 5-place grid penalty looming, meaning Lewis Hamilton's third-place sprint finish will see the Silver Arrows lock out the front row for the main race.
The sprint race, like I didn't watch it. I did watch the highlights though, but just from you talking about it, it sounded like it was kind of exciting.
It was very kind of exciting, yeah. It was a mini version of the main race. The main race was exciting too.
Yeah.
It's good to see after the boring race that the Mexican Grand Prix was and Miami. Like, we've had some stinkers this year, but we've had some good ones. It was good to see Interlagos still brings it.
We definitely needed it on the stretch home, with considering the championship's already sewn up. You know, we need
And because the last race is at Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, which is a brilliant track with upgrades that makes it even more brilliant.
Yeah.
The sentiment is not shared by either of you two, but I'm sticking to it. I love Abu Dhabi. It's a great track.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
You
That's
know
all
who
that
else really likes it?
Max Verstappen.
Lewis Hamilton and Michael Massey at Toto Wolff.
Toto
They
Wolff.
absolutely fucking love that track.
Toto Wolff's Bose headphones don't fucking love it. The 3 pairs he went through that weekend.
All right, speaking of the main race, it is time for the F1 report with JB. I hope you guys enjoy hearing his voice, because you're going to hear a lot more of it.
I hope you enjoy hearing my voice too, because I don't.
Well, I should put it in stereo mix for now. Like, when I mix it, just put it in stereo so that it's in both
All
headphones.
you can hear is my voice. My gravelly, cement mixery monotone voice. Brazilian Grand Prix, the main one. Lap 1. Mercedes' George Russell lines up on pole position alongside teammate Lewis Hamilton. Russell holds off Hamilton. Lando Norris pressures Carlos Sainz's Ferrari. Daniel Ricciardo hits Kevin Magnussen into turn 9. Kevin Magnussen rolling backwards into the path of Daniel Ricciardo and smashing both cars out of the race on the first lap. Safety car is deployed. Yeah, there was a little bit of poetic justice, actually, to be honest. As much as I love Danny Rick, it was his fault, and then him getting taken out subsequently was poetic justice.
Yeah, it broke even.
Lap 4. Charles Leclerc radios under safety car to Ferrari that he had power unit issues coming out of turn 4. Lap 7. Max Verstappen tries to go around the outside of Lewis Hamilton into turn 1 on the restart, and they make contact. Max Verstappen losing a chunk of his front wing, and he's forced to pit. Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc come together, Norris clipping the curb and being pushed across the track into the Ferrari. Leclerc spinning into the tyre barrier, but he is able to continue after pitting for a new front wing. Lap 9, Carlos Sainz dives under Lando Norris into third. Lap 13, Max Verstappen is handed a 5-second time penalty for his contact with Lewis Hamilton. Lando Norris is also handed a 5-second time penalty for his contact with Charles Leclerc. Lap 14, Lewis Hamilton passes Sebastian Vettel into 5th and then Lando Norris into 4th. Fernando Alonso pits for a set of medium tyres. Lap 18, Carlos Sainz comes in for soft tyres, his rear brakes smoking during the pit stop, as it seemed a tear-off had worked its way into the brake duct. Lap 22, Carlos Sainz makes identical moves on Lance Stroll and Mick Schumacher in his Ferrari on fresh soft tyres on identical laps. Lap 23, Charles Leclerc pits for soft tyres. Lap 24, Sergio Perez pits for a set of medium tyres. Lap 25, Max Verstappen pits for soft tyres, serving his 5-second penalty in the process. George Russell pits for medium, while Sergio Perez fights with Carlos Sainz and Sebastian Vettel. Lap 27, Mick Schumacher is under investigation from the FIA for a pit lane infringement. Lap 29, Lewis Hamilton boxes for mediums, the FIA investigating Alfa Romeo for a pit lane incident. I believe it had something to do with the wheel guns. I never actually found out the result of that. Lap 36, Alonso pits his rear left tyre not coming off clean. He's then held as another car comes down the pit lane. Carlos Sainz pits for the second time for a set of medium tyres. Lap 43, Charles Leclerc passes Lando Norris around the outside of turn 1. Lap 45, Lewis Hamilton passes Sergio Perez into turn 1 for second place. Lap 48, Sergio Perez pits for mediums. Lewis Hamilton reluctantly pits for soft tyres to cover off the Red Bull stop. Lap 50, George Russell pits for soft tyres to cover off any potential undercuts as well. Lap 52, Lando Norris's McLaren dies, a double DNF for McLaren as Alpine continues in the top 10. A virtual safety car is deployed. Lap 53, Alonso and Sainz take a chance and pit under the virtual safety car moments before the full safety car is deployed. Lap 59, Esteban Ocon is urged by his team not to fight Fernando Alonso. Esteban pleads he'll be fighting Vettel, not Fernando. Lap 60, Fernando Alonso passes Esteban Ocon off the restart. Sergio Perez battles with Carlos Sainz. Lap 63, Carlos Sainz passes Sergio Perez into third. Max Verstappen picks off Ocon and Bottas into turn 1. Lap 64, Charles Leclerc passes Sergio Perez into fourth, his medium tyres not matching with the soft tyres of his competitors, that is Sergio Perez, I mean. Lap 67, Max Verstappen is given the clear to go fight Fernando and Charles Leclerc, and to help Sergio Perez go with him after passing his teammate. Lap 68, Sergio Perez is told the places will swap back on the final lap if Max can't pass the two ahead of him. Charles Leclerc asks Ferrari to let him pass Carlos, but Carlos is on the podium, so the answer is no. Lap 71, George Russell wins the Brazilian Grand Prix from Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari's Carlos Sainz. Max Verstappen is asked to let Sergio through if he can't pass Fernando. He doesn't pass Fernando or let Sergio through. George Russell gets fastest lap. Lewis Hamilton gets driver of the day. And then post-race, Pierre Gasly is given a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And Daniel Ricciardo is handed a three-place grid penalty for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix after his contact with Kevin Magnussen.
And didn't Alonso get a
Alonso
penalty?
got a 5-second penalty, but I don't know if that was for the sprint race or the main race, because he's still in fifth there, so I think he was okay.
Well, I'll probably have to do a correction by the time we post this damn thing. Like every other race. Well, just make a decision at the race.
Well,
Seriously,
It's
this
not that simple, you know.
Oh, it is that simple. I mean, how many laps did it take before they decided that Norris and Verstappen were going to get 5-second penalties?
Oh, that was easily about 5 laps later.
But in fourth place was Charles Leclerc for Ferrari. Fifth place was Fernando Alonso for Alpine. Sixth place was Max Verstappen in Red Bull. Seventh was Sergio Perez for Red Bull. Eighth was Esteban Ocon in Alpine. Ninth was Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo. And 10th was Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin.
There you go.
So I actually really enjoyed that race.
It's a good one.
That had action up and down the grid. And for the first time in a while, it was a Brazilian F1 race that I know qualifying was affected by the rain, but the race didn't have rain.
They thought it was going to rain, but it didn't rain, so that was a welcome change.
But I mean, it was a Brazilian race that didn't have rain, but still had a shit ton of action.
Yeah, it's good that this track still promotes a lot of overtaking
Yeah,
and
it
drama.
had a lot of that, which is good.
And a lot of drama.
Yeah, a lot of drama. We've got Alpine drivers that don't like each other now. Got Red Bull drivers that aren't getting along. You know.
Yeah, well,
Lots of dramas like Days of Our Lives, isn't it? Formula One track
Yeah.
at the moment.
and I mean, they've got 2 races to go for a couple of these or 1 race left to go for a couple of these partnerships, and you're just like, whoa, anything could go wrong. There's a lot of sparks, a lot of powder kegs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so my first key driver is obviously George Russell. I think he drove a perfect race.
Smashed it. He did everything he needed to do to win that.
I mean-
I was happy to see him win it.
He drove well in the sprint race as well.
His entire weekend was brilliant.
Yeah.
Like he
Other than when he went off in qualifying. But
Yeah, this guy, he was in the sand trap in qualifying, and there he is, not only winning the sprint race, but then winning the Grand Prix as well. So
Yeah, well, it was
mentally, he fought back brilliantly.
it was him going off in qualifying that brought out the red flag, which
Gave
helped.
Kevin Magnussen
Kevin
get pole,
Magnussen.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Kevin Magnussen was having a really solid weekend as well. I mean, he had pole position for the sprint race.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I mean, the Haas wasn't a great car, but it would have been interesting to see where Kevin Magnussen had ended up if he hadn't been taken out by Danny Rick.
I think it would have been more of the same, honestly.
Yeah. But I think K-Mag had a pretty decent weekend.
Absolutely.
But yeah, George Russell getting his first win in F1.
Yeah. First of a few, I think.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yep. The future of Mercedes. Right
And he thoroughly deserved it. He is actually a really good driver. So.
there. Yeah, I mean, the way he come out, he did everything he needed to do. And even when the second safety car restart, when he come out and put over a second on Lewis Hamilton, who had pace all weekend as well, like that was impressive. And it showed. I was glad he did that, because I would have hated to have seen them have to fight fight it out and Hamilton pip him at the end, because he did everything right up to that point.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I was glad he was able to do it, even take that extra step to secure the win, and yeah, thoroughly deserved.
Yeah. My next driver of the day might actually surprise you. It was Charles Leclerc. I mean, he spun off after a collision with Lando Norris and broke his front wing.
Yeah.
And so at one point he was pretty much dead last.
He could have been out of the race.
And yet he fought his way all the way up to fourth.
Yeah, he was in
I
the
mean-
tyre barrier like 4 laps into the race or whatever it was.
Yeah. And he kept going and fought his way and got up to fourth.
That's a brilliant recovery drive. I think he was robbed for driver of the day, to be honest.
I think he definitely got helped with the safety cars, but he still did everything he needed to do to get the
It
fourth.
shows that the Ferrari still got pace too.
Yeah, well, the Ferraris don't really like the higher altitude
Mm.
because they've got a smaller. This was according to the race. So the Ferrari engine has got a smaller actual turbo. So when it spins up faster than all the other turbos on the grid,
Yeah.
but it also tops out earlier.
Yeah, it'll give you that initial acceleration, but it'll top out. It won't keep pushing you after a
Yeah.
certain point like the other ones will.
And because it's smaller, and you get to Brazil, Austria, Mexico, where you're in the higher altitude,
Mm.
it spins up faster, and it spins it gets spinning faster, but it spins a lot faster than it's supposed to because it's smaller.
Because of the air resistance. or lack
Well,
of.
because of the thinness of the air. That's why on all the onboards during Mexico, Brazil, even Austria, and it explains why Carlos Sainz's car caught fire
Yeah, right.
in Austria, is that it just spins faster than they want it to because it's smaller and the air's thinner.
Yeah.
That's why at Mexico they were so far off the pace it wasn't funny. It was because they were told to turn their engines down.
Yeah, right.
And on all the onboards, it just sounded like a Janome sewing machine.
Speaking of cars on fire, one of the Alpines was in fire in the pit lane after the race. I think it was Ocon's actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ocon's.
Yeah, it was lit up. So,
Nice.
well, typical Alpine. Isn't it?
Yeah, nice bit of fireworks after the race.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think Carlos Sainz did really. Charles
Leclerc.
Leclerc. Carlos Sainz did really well as well.
He
But
did, yeah.
But my next driver is Sebastian Vettel. I think he was robbed of not getting a point
Yeah.
because he was on it, and he also had the I don't know the what would you call it, the blessing, the privilege of going wheel to wheel with his teammate in the sprint race,
And then,
if you want to call it
Jesus.
that.
you know, the privilege of surviving through it, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, what-
After being pushed on the grass with your DRS open.
What is Lance Stroll's issue? Like, if anyone tries
He
to
did
over-
the same thing with Fernando in Austin and had an
Yeah.
aeroplane crash.
yeah,
And he wants to try it again with his teammate. Dude's got a death wish. What's with Canadians and not looking in their rearview mirrors?
Yeah. It's shocking, isn't it? He just.
Yeah, like it's just the most pathetic display ever, and now he's trying it with his own teammate.
Yeah, disgusting.
It makes me feel like he should be given a penalty, I believe.
Well,
There
that's
was
Well, here
calls
we
for that
are with
after-
Pierre Gasly about to get suspended for a race for the penalty points.
we'll
but
get to him in a
but
sec.
we got Lance Stroll like swerving 2 drivers off the track in 3 races,
Yeah.
and he's free to race in Abu Dhabi.
But I think Sebastian Vettel actually did do solid, despite the fact he didn't get any points this weekend.
He was up there early, and he was up there in the sprint race too.
Yeah.
I think he just fell away at the end on the tyres, but
Yeah.
I kind of lean towards the idea. I think Sebastian Vettel could do with just a year off and then come back into F1. You know, like, he's driving better than he has since in the last 2 years.
yeah,
Since he's announced his retirement, he's just driven
Yeah.
for the sake of driving.
He's
And
been
because
good,
he's
yeah.
enjoying it, because there's no he doesn't have pressure on himself anymore.
yeah. And I think if he just took a couple of years off and then came back, he'd be fresh and...
He just need a good team again. I think he's, I think we've spoken about it before, how impressive his career is and how different it is compared to the normal arc in F1. Is he basically was a winner from the get-go and has gone the opposite way, slowly weaned out onto a non-competitive car. I think I think he's shown if you were to throw him in a competitive car, he's still got it, in my opinion. What he's shown since he decided to retire.
I think his mind's
He'd be
made
up
up though.
there.
He's got a lot of personal projects he's working on, so
Yeah, I don't think he'd want to come back, but I think he's definitely shown on the way out, thankfully, that he's still got it. Like he's going out on top despite being in a car that won't allow him to.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's going out on his terms.
yeah.
Which is good.
But I mean, like, if he came back, I think him and Mick Schumacher at Audi in 2026 would be pretty good combo to get the team going.
Yeah, but he's long in the tooth by then too.
Yeah, that's true.
It'd be 56 by then or something.
God,
Roughly.
that old. Right, and the last driver that I thought was a key driver was Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah, he had a good weekend.
Yeah, he did.
He did. Yep.
Top
Yeah.
10 finish in the Alfa Romeo. It had pace.
Yeah,
He was 5th at one stage. Like, he was up there with the big boys for a while.
Yeah,
he was
well-
right up it in the safety
I
car
think
restart.
I think his tyres just ran out of kaput.
Yeah. I think
That's-
his card performance really ran out of kaput too.
Yeah. Right, and then I'm not sure if we could really call these news items, but it's something to discuss. So the first thing is, well, there's a bit of tension at Red Bull.
Only a bit.
Yeah. Apparently, though, since all this stuff is broken, because Max was supposed to let Perez through to
To help him to secure second in the
In the championship.
championship. Yep.
And Max went, no, and I've got my reasons, and you know my reasons. And he still hasn't told the public what his reasons are.
It's very odd the way he worded it.
And then Checo's saying, I think if Max has 2 championships, it's thanks to me, which I think Sergio has a point.
2021 Abu Dhabi especially.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And apparently, according to Christian Horner, they went and did the debrief, and they shook hands, and everything's copacetic again.
Yeah, but Max needs to tell us what his reasons are. He won't.
I think that that's bullshit, what Christian Horner said. I think he's just trying to cool it down publicly. But,
Well, we're not talking about Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber here.
yeah, but it's very similar to Multi-21.
This is what you like. To be honest, this is like. It feels like this is what Red Bull promotes in a sense. Like
Yeah.
they bring one driver up and then they get to a point and they're like, "Oh, well, now we need you to be a team game," and they're like, "No, I'm not in the team. You know, I'm number one on this." And it's like,
despite the fact
it's
you've won the championship 2 races ago.
yeah, but it's kind of like, isn't this what Red Bull breeds in a sense in their culture? Like, this is why Danny Rick left, because it was like all about one driver. It's what Helmut Marko got. How often did they?
Yeah, Mark
have-
Webber
you know-
had it with Seb Vettel. Danny Rick had it with Max. Now Sergio's getting to be.
It's
There's 2 rumours. One, this was payback for Monaco, when Sergio Perez crashed out in qualifying, cost Max Verstappen pole, and ultimately cost Max the race that Sergio went on to win. Max seeming to believe Sergio protected pole position and ultimately the race win by crashing out in Monaco, which, whatever, we've seen instances of that in the past. I think Michael Schumacher got a grid penalty doing it one year.
Yeah.
They deemed that he purposely crashed down the escape road to
Yeah, that
to,
was
to secure pole position.
2006.
Yeah. And the other thing is, and the way he worded it coming across the line was, I told you last summer what my reasons were. And I don't think he means the summer just gone. I think he means 2 summers ago when Sergio Perez signed to Red Bull as his teammate, which I assume they would have asked Max about, and Max would have said, only if he is the number 2 driver, which means he doesn't get to challenge me, yada yada, which is fucking petty.
Yeah.
Well, it's
From
petty
a guy-
considering the circumstances is that he's wrapped up the World Championship,
Yeah.
and this is to help Perez clinch number 2, which he is. It would clinch him as the number 2 driver still, because Max
As
has
of
already
right
won
now-
it. So it's like,
As of right now, Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez are equal on championship points going in Abu Dhabi.
there you go.
So, but to be fair, and it's the only thing that's going to save Max's ass here, Ferrari didn't let Charles Leclerc pass Carlos Sainz either.
But that was right call though. Sainz was on the podium.
Sainz was on the podium, but it also meant that it doesn't give Charles Leclerc the advantage in the championship. Although, at the time, I don't think either team were crunching the numbers.
Also, I really don't think too much should go into fighting for second place in a sense, in terms of, like, no way whatsoever should Sainz be looking at handing over a podium to help Leclerc clinch second. Do you know what I mean? Like, if this was still to fight for the World Championship, maybe there's a poison cane, a case
point.
there. Yeah, that's the
Case
word I'm looking
in
for.
point.
But
Gotcha.
I couldn't. That
It
one. Annoyed me.
makes-
This one though was like, Checo let him pass to try and have a go at Alonso, and then when it didn't like formulate, all it had to do was just give that position back to to Checo, and it's like the amount Checo's done for Max, like he's always stepped aside for Max, and
Yeah.
fair enough, at the time has done it, and it's like this one case, and he didn't. It feels really odd. I thought Max was
I
not
thought
like
Max
this
was better
anymore.
than this.
Yeah, I thought he was. I thought he'd
fucking
grown
really
as a
thought
champion.
Max was better. I asked the question in Mexico if Max was a second ahead of Sergio with 2 laps to go in Mexico, would he let him win the Mexican Grand Prix?
You said no doubt.
I said he absolutely fucking would,
I'm not
and
sure.
now
if he
I'm
would.
really not fucking sure.
I don't think he would if he wouldn't. He didn't do it for 6th
Why-
place.
What? He's got no reason to be this selfish.
Yeah,
All he's done now is alienate himself to fans like me.
to people who were on his side.
Red Bull's not my team, but I love Max Verstappen. Like, outside of McLaren, he's my favorite driver on the grid.
Yeah,
Him and Carlos Sainz. And, you know, he goes out and he shows this selfish arrogance, the same reason I despise Lewis Hamilton for.
yeah. Yeah,
Just
he's done it.
selfish fucking arrogance, unneeded, unnecessary arrogance. He's won the championship. Now help your teammate.
Just to play
Be a
devil's
team
advocate.
player. Like, show last year, Abu Dhabi 2021. Oh, Checo's a legend. Yeah, he's an absolute animal.
Yeah.
Where's
That's right.
that respect now? Show that respect for everything Sergio's done for you, but giving him a meaningless to you, but very meaningful to him,
Yeah.
6th place.
Well, maybe that's what he meant by I made this clear last summer. Maybe he just meant like during the summer break that if it got to this type of point that he wouldn't hand the place back over because we've got the drivers, we've got the constructors. Who cares? Maybe that's
Like,
what
it's
his
a
logic
respect,
is.
It's a respect
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Like, Sergio's pissed.
Is it just world champion?
Sergio's quote across the line was, well, he just showed who he really is.
Just to play devil's advocate, because I'm not saying it's right, but is it just a world champion's mentality thing? Like we just said, Lewis Hamilton would. He's like that in a sense, and that's what burns
He doesn't
people's
need to
piss.
be.
He doesn't. But
He doesn't
is that
need to
just
be.
the mindset in a sense to be that?
All that's
Like,
done is completely shatter any trust Sergio's got in Max. It's fucking gone. Forget it.
And
Whatever respect and trust Sergio Perez had for Max Verstappen coming into this weekend is fucking gone.
Well,
Yeah.
and this is why you can draw the conclusion between Seb Vettel and Mark Webber with the multi-21 thing compared to this. Because,
not,
I mean...
not to that level. Like, this is probably the first time that it's been like this.
Max ignored team orders
yeah,
so that he could get some points
that he
were
doesn't need.
that he doesn't need. The only difference is that Webber and Vettel were fighting for a championship.
But that almost makes it. And Malaysia was only round 2 of that season as well. Let's
Yeah.
not forget. And that was Sebastian Vettel and Marco. They were still fighting for a championship. The championship was still alive at that point.
Yeah.
Nothing matters to Max now. This matters to Sergio. Like the fact that Max can't even put his ego aside for 6th place
There's something going
in a
there's something
championship
going
that he's
on.
already won. Like, this is brand suicide. Every neutral fan like me and everyone that likes watching Max Verstappen race but isn't actually a Red Bull fan, the amount of respect he's lost in my eyes and in their eyes, I don't think he realizes it.
Is it because I was going to say that contradicts? Because I was going to say, is it because he just doesn't like team orders, but then he's happy to receive team orders from Sergio? So it's like, yeah, I can't defend it one bit whatsoever, and it's disappointing. But I'd love to hear what the reason is.
Yeah, I think we need to hear what the reason is, at
Yeah,
least.
I think it's just Max's arrogance. He's world champion.
Yeah,
and-
well, I really hoped. If the championship was still alive and Max needed the no-brainer.
Yeah, we'll never.
But he
been
wrapped up the championship 2 races ago. He's like 100 points ahead still of Sergio and Charles.
He's got the most points ever in a season. Like, there's nothing left to
Like, what?
tick off.
yeah, there's nothing
Yeah.
left to prove.
It's
Yeah.
just like...
Just help Sergio now if you can. Which he
It's
has
just
the
like being
opportunity
really
to.
good at a video game and then getting your little brother in to kick his ass for no reason at all other than just like puffing your chest out moment. That's sort of what it is. It's just like, come in here so I can kick your ass and then...
Okay, allow me to ask a question then. Okay. So we don't know where Daniel Ricciardo is going as a reserve driver, as a sabbatical, right? But what if this rift here between Perez and Max leads to the team going to appease Max, we've got to let go of Perez? Does this open the door for Ricciardo to come back into Red Bull?
It won't be to appease Max. It'll be because Sergio's got the shits.
Yeah, he won't. He might not re-sign.
So, no, yes. Here's the
Guess-
thing.
guess
though.
who's
Don't
even-
get too ahead of. At the end of the day, Sergio needs if Sergio. Let's be real. If Sergio leaves Red Bull, where's he going?
He's gone.
Right. So Sergio's not going to be like, oh, I'm pissed off, I'm leaving. He understands
won't.
at the end of the day, he's here to pick up points and be second.
Yeah.
He's going to be pissed off, and rightfully so, and I'm sure he'll express that to, Red Bull and all the rest of it, but he's not going to make a deal out of it in terms of, he's got nothing to hold in terms of what would you do without me? Well, at the end of the day, they'll be fine. They're going to find someone else. Unfortunately, Max is in this position where he is Red Bull. He is. They brought him in at 17 as the golden child, pushed everything his way, built the car around him. Here he is. That's what you've sort of created in a sense. Like, you've got it now. So
You created a monster, and now the monster's being a little bitch who had it.
yeah, but now the monster's the monster. So it's
Yeah.
almost like, how can you expect him to follow team orders in a sense when you've sort of created this monster? And if he's apparently told you before, I kind of do wonder why they have asked him in a sense.
And to
because-
be honest, and to play devil's advocate here, with Max, Sergio Perez was dropping like a rock in this race. He was on medium tyres that just weren't working. Max Verstappen had pulled a 2-second gap on him
yeah.
by the time they got to the checkered flag on softs.
Yeah, they
Sergio
stuffed up
Perez.
with Perez being on-
Sergio Perez started that safety car. I think he was 3rd
Yeah.
when that safety car ended, and he finished the race 7th.
I don't know why they put him on mediums for his last stint.
I don't think. Well, they weren't expecting a safety car, honestly.
I think they ran out of softs.
Yeah, it
they
must have
ran
been
out of
that.
softs. Yeah,
That's what I
Because
think
because
softs with a better tyre all day, even over the
Yeah.
mediums. So.
Max Verstappen was the only one on mediums during the sprint race, and so which saved him that last set of soft tyres.
Yeah.
But, and if your point is that Daniel Ricciardo would go back to Red Bull, guess who's going to even less of a chance listen to team orders?
Daniel
Someone
Ricciardo.
Someone with a chip on his shoulder,
Yeah.
like Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, but I think Daniel Ricciardo would take the bullet because it would be him back in a competitive team.
Yeah, he surely.
And with a car that he knows he can trust.
It depends on the scenario.
Because he couldn't trust the Renault, he couldn't trust the McLaren, but he could trust that Red Bull. He could do his late braking, send it from 20 miles away, and
Yeah.
still hit the postage stamp.
Well, we'll see, man. Like this is escalating. This is
Look, I hope so, because I'd
absolute
like to see...
surprise. Like I really thought these two were closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm super disappointed in Max. I really am.
Makes me wonder if something's actually gone on behind the scenes,
Really.
like in the summer break.
It sucks because I love Max Verstappen, but this has dimmed his light for me so much that he's that arrogant and petty to take this away from a guy that deserves to be where he is.
Yeah.
You know, Sergio just deserves so much better than that.
Which then brings me on to the next team problem, which is Alonso and Ocon at Alpine.
Oh, boy.
You know, Fernando Alonso saying one more race and it's over. Finally.
Look, it's not over, mate, because do you know where you're going next year? Have you seen your teammate
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Did you see your future teammate kill your fucking...
The chapter continues.
Kill his current teammate? Not only... Do you know what he did in Austin to you?
Yeah.
Well, he almost did it to Sebastian Vettel. If you think you being in a green car and him being in a green car...
It's the safest way to
It's going to be any different.
If it's got four wheels, a front and a rear wing, and a person behind it, he'll try to push it off the damn road.
If it's in his blind spot and he can't see his mirrors, not that he's going to use them.
You could be in the green Aston Martin safety car, and I don't know if you'd be safe at this point.
No, I don't think you would.
God. But, jeez, this is some
This got
cock-
so ugly so quick.
Yeah.
Like between these two, but they've come together a couple of
I
times.
Remember fighting like a lion and all
Yeah,
that?
Hungary
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
Hungary last year.
Hugging
that was-
each other, and we were all like, oh, how good is that to see? Camaraderie between
Yeah.
teammates, and now it's one more race and it's over finally. Like, how sour it must be to be like racing drivers sometimes, like. But it doesn't need to be that way. Like, you get guys like Daniel Ricciardo that everyone loves, and one thing I even noticed, like after his crash with Kevin Magnussen, he went to Kevin right then and there to say, or I can only assume, to apologise. That's
Yeah,
what
he
it
did.
looked like he did.
It was his fault.
Yeah, where, you know, a lot of other times Travis would just get out and walk away.
Yeah.
He was like, I buggered up. I'm going to go tell Kevin, you know, I stuffed up. I took it on the chin. It's like, and everyone loves Daniel. Is it that hard to be like Daniel? Like,
Daniel figured out that he'd buggered up. It took him a lot less time compared to the stewards to
Yeah.
figure out that he'd buggered up.
I'm surprised they have worked it out yet.
Oh, yeah. But the strange thing about it is, like, Ocon really does have a bad reputation on the grid.
No one likes it.
No one likes him.
Wonder why?
Because he's an arrogant Frenchman.
Yeah.
And so they're putting another arrogant Frenchman
people
with
like.
an arrogant Frenchman in an arrogant Frenchman team.
I don't think Pierre Gasly's as arrogant as Esteban Ocon. People at least like
Not-
Pierre.
So, yeah. He's not as arrogant, but yeah, it's going to be interesting when them two together.
I can't wait till they bang wheels next year and there's like French swear words over the radio. It's gonna be so
They're throwing
good.
croissants at each other while they're on
Bashing
the other
each
that
other with
big
croissants.
straight.
They're having a lightsaber battle with baguettes.
Twirling their moustache.
Oh man,
It's throwing
Otmar
baguettes across
Zappar is gonna be
It's
not a
baguette.
happy boy.
Oh, but I mean, Alonso
Once again, he's being a sourpuss at a team he's about to leave.
Yeah, I mean,
History repeats, man.
Yeah, Alonso is just the most sour of sour people.
Yeah, but don't say that to the media because he's still a media darling.
Oh, they love him.
Even
mate.
this is the third time of him being a sooky bitch on the way out the door in his career.
Yeah,
He's
some reason no
heading-
one ever
heading
holds him
towards-
accountable. Everyone thinks he's like,
The second coming of Christ.
yeah.
Every time he comes back.
The light shines out his asshole.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's
because
like,
he beat Schumacher in 06.
yeah, but it's like,
That was a long time ago. You know
Yeah.
what else happened in 06? I mean, Nathan Hindmarsh was in his prime. Now he's fat. 06, I was 16 years old, Fernando. I'm now 32. Almost 33. Like, get over it, man. Not Fernando. It's Sky Sports, and it's the F1 paddock just as themes. Just because he looks like Jesus doesn't mean he's actually Jesus. I mean, he's coming into his second
Sorry,
retirement.
you just reminded me of lyrics from a Killer's song. Just because you look like Jesus. Oh, I can't even remember the rest
Yeah,
of it.
I
but
know the song you're talking about.
Yeah.
He looks like Jesus, but
When You Were Young, that was the
Yeah,
name of the
yeah.
song. Yeah. That's him. When You Were Young.
but he's old and salty.
Yeah, but even when he was young, he was salty.
Just.
And he's been salty
And
as...
now he's going to go to Aston Martin, and he is going to bitch Mike
Oh,
Crack's ear off about how shit the car is,
and his teammate.
and Lance Stroll's going to
You
try
know,
and murder him every
No,
time he
he's-
comes up behind him.
No, he's going to bypass Mike Crack and go straight to Larry.
Stroll.
Larry. Get straight to
It's gonna
Larry
be
Stroll.
hilarious. It's going to be like McLaren 2015. GP2 engine.
Do it.
I don't want. Well, guess what? You do want because you signed the contract.
Yeah, you know what you're signing up for, you douchebag. No, it'll be Alonso 2007 at McLaren.
I know.
You know, it just a guy
It
sitting
won't
there
have
go-
as much at stake. I mean, 14th and 15th isn't a whole lot at stake, is it?
No,
To be fair, the Aston's getting a little bit better at the end of the year, but I don't know if they'll be able to carry
I
it
think
on.
that's more Sebastian Vettel than anything.
I think it's they're
Because
probably,
as sure as shit
they're-
ain't Lance Stroll.
they're probably still throwing upgrades to the car, and everyone else is sort of stopped.
Yeah, well, I think it was just before Mexico, Mercedes put some upgrades on their car.
Yeah.
I don't think Ferrari's upgraded their car since Hungary.
Yeah,
no,
Red
they
Bull
certainly
Red Bull
haven't.
stopped ages ago too.
Yeah, because they won the championships.
And they
They're
don't
just
need
like,
to at this point.
It's just like we wait till next year now. But yeah, no, look, days of our lives, the Formula One paddock, best
Oh.
mate.
Oh,
Drive to Survive has something to bolster the next season because
They're not going to have to invent anything. It's
it was
already
gonna
there,
be-
written for
Yeah,
them. Now,
it's
isn't
like
it?
every day we have to create like fake tension between
Daniel
Ricciardo
Ricciardo.
and Lando Norris. It's like, wait, they hate each other? It's like, have they ever said that publicly? Nah, but we could make it look like it.
And then Will Buxton comes along and goes, if you've got two drivers that don't like each other,
That's a rivalry.
that's a rivalry.
You've got two drivers that don't like each other.
There's going to be much tension on that Jennifer, what's her name? Jenny Gow. There's going to be so much tension on the grid next year. Just because they're wearing the same colours doesn't mean they like each other.
Oh my God.
The first person you have to beat is your teammate. And if you hate him,
If you beat your teammate,
you're the
that means
best.
you're the best driver in the team.
If you beat your teammate, you're the number one driver. And if you lose to your teammate, you're the number two driver.
Out of two drivers.
That means I'm going to have to find a photo of Jenny Gow now.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's my payback for you having to talk for 5 minutes straight.
I think that's her name. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I follow her on Instagram.
Oh, then plenty of photos.
Yeah, but no, you can't do that.
What?
You can't screenshot photos of someone from Instagram.
Yeah, there's probably copyright laws against
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you got to Google
Yeah,
search.
Google
it's,
search.
It's like screenshotting off OnlyFans. You can't do that either.
You can.
No, you get in trouble.
Well, you can't show them publicly, but you can. Does she have an OnlyFans? Should we look?
No. I'll let you look. Right. But it's not over because there's a bit of a rivalry at Ferrari.
Just
Charles
because-
Leclerc was
And the
like,
strategy team.
no, there was an empty chair on the pit wall.
Yeah.
That was
They've
the strategy
They've
guy.
got the drinky bird from The Simpsons. Just pressing a button.
Oddly enough, though, they actually got their strategy right in this race.
Yeah, probably because they didn't have the strategist there.
It was an empty chair and he was
Yeah.
on Skype.
Look,
The internet's not that good in South America.
compared to the other two, like this really was a non-event. I mean, Carlos Sainz is not giving up a podium
No.
to Charles Leclerc for the sake of second in the championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
Max was petty, but you know, Max,
You're not even asking Carlos that. You
Yeah,
know, like
Carlos
the team was never doing
Carlos
that.
isn't giving up a podium.
Yeah. And it sounds so desperate from Charles in a sense. You know, like, guys, we need to think of the champion. Like, I like you, Charles, but you sounded like
Yeah,
a desperate
that-
little bitch
that
when
was-
you're like,
that was
oh,
fucking-
we got to think of the championship here, guys. Like, the championship's over, mate. Like, no one really cares about second. It's just all your personal little egos that care for it.
you're
Like,
fighting for second in the constructors now. Like,
It's a team.
it doesn't.
It's a team
It doesn't
game now.
matter who comes third or fourth, as long
Yeah.
as you get the damn points.
It
and
doesn't
keep
matter.
Mercedes at
It
bay.
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter if Carlos is in front of you or behind you.
yeah, the same car.
Your point now is to make sure Lewis Hamilton and George Russell are behind you.
Yep.
Probably behind both of you because it's about 20 points at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, it is.
it's 19 points between Alpine and McLaren. I think that fight's over, honestly.
Yeah, after this race.
But yeah, Ferraris was a non-event. I mean, there's no way you could possibly, unless Charles Leclerc was second in the championship and Max was still within striking distance, would you ever ask Carlos Sainz to give up podium for the sake of that?
Yeah.
Max Verstappen, on the other hand, that's just petty bullshit.
Yeah.
The difference between third and fourth is the prestige you get to go on the podium. The difference between 6th and 7th is fucking nothing. That's just toddler throwing the toys out of the pram bullshit.
Right, then the next thing is the Pierre Gasly situation.
Yeah, like I'm
Where-
not quite across this one, but
So he's currently at this time, he's got 10 points on his license, and if you get 12 points, you're suspended.
yes.
And I think he got done for speeding in the pit lane, which will probably put another point on his license, which means he's 1 point away from a race ban,
Yes.
and he doesn't lose points off the super license until May.
So he's going to have to race clean in Abu Dhabi, and then the next... May? The season starts in March. You're probably going to be at the Australian Grand Prix, probably...
The first 6 races, it'd have to be clean.
What's after the Australian Grand Prix?
China.
Oh, yeah, China's back. You're probably going to go to, like, China, or... It's probably almost going to be like Azerbaijan, Barcelona by then.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of races to start the year, and that's, like, next year's race, 23 race calendar.
Yeah.
You're going to be through quite a few races.
Look,
And penalty points count, if you're slow on a practice lap, if you impede someone in qualifying. It's not just the race.
I think, though, some of the...
It's going to be like someone on 1 point on the driver's license to put cruise control on everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing for me, is that I don't think Pierre Gasly's really done anything to rack up, 11 points on his super license.
He's accumulated them all over the year, and then here's Lance Stroll, aeroplane crashing with Fernando Alonso, and then almost aeroplane crashing with Sebastian Vettel, and he's fine.
Yeah, did he get any penalty points for those incidents?
Yeah, he would have.
Yeah.
Every time you get a time penalty or of some description, I think you get a penalty
How
point.
has he not had a race ban?
Because he hasn't accumulated points. The point system's dumb.
Yeah,
The point system's dumb. Like, Pierre Gasly's a point away from a race ban because he's accumulated over the course of 18 months minor infractions.
yeah.
Lance Stroll's nearly killed someone twice in 3 races.
Yeah.
And that's not an exaggeration.
And he's
And-
further from a
and-
ban than Gasly.
And he's ages away from a ban.
Yeah.
And he took out Gotifi earlier in the year.
Yeah, like, he's...
I mean, that's
Should have
that's
been
a
banned.
Lance
race,
Stroll's
That's a
like-
learn from
that's
that.
half a year ban right there. for
Lance
taking out the
Stroll's
goat.
like out and out a dangerous driver.
Yeah.
Pierre Gasly's just accumulated
Minor
minor
infractions.
shit for 18 months.
I mean, I'd like to sit here and say he drives like a bus driver, but unfortunately, we know a couple of
Yeah.
bus drivers.
We do know a bus driver.
Yes. So we can't say anything about her.
Well,
But-
to my knowledge, she doesn't drive like Lance Stroll, but I haven't been on a bus with her yet. I wonder if she's driving at Knotfest.
No, she's got Guns N' Roses tomorrow night, though.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose
She-
she probably wouldn't check her mirrors as much as Stroll because you got to give way to buses. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
She gets right away. The FIA is not going to be on her case 2 days later about what she did.
maybe that's what they need to put on the back of Stroll's car, like the bus give way.
Yeah.
Give way to turning vehicle. the truck logo.
Just put the Aston Martin logo
Yeah.
instead of the bus.
Please give way to turning vehicle.
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin.
Or just Lance Stroll's face.
Yeah.
That dude needs some L plates on his car.
It needs training wheels. Like an additional set of wheels outside of his car.
We've never had indicators on a Formula One car before. We're about to.
Until now.
Until now.
He'd still
Indicators,
forget to use them.
indicators and brake lights.
I think Lance Stroll should be the one person who has to drive around the track with the hazard lights on.
Yeah. He is a hazard. Him and Goatee.
Or they've got to hook the lights up so when he hits the brakes they light up so that other people know when he's braking.
Yeah, but his 2 crashes, he wasn't braking. He was just like blindly turning. Like every Mackay driver in a Prado does. Blindly turning.
Yeah, no indicator. Yeah.
No indicator.
Time-
Seven kids in the back.
It's like that Family Guy episode where he's like, "Oh, I need to turn right.
Yeah.
Oh, I turn
Asian
now."
driver.
It's like,
How much warning do I have to give to cross 8 lanes of traffic? Oh, well, I'm going.
I
Good luck,
turn now.
everybody
Good
else.
luck, everyone.
Or they drive like Peter where he's kicking the steering wheel going, Roadhouse.
Welcome to the
Roadhouse.
Lance Stroll Driving Academy.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Right. So that's the Pierre Gasly situation. I don't think he deserves the points, but it is what it is.
It'd be
He's
interesting.
nowhere near as dangerous as other guys out there. I think it needs to be overhauled.
Yeah.
It just needs to be a case-by-case basis. Right now, Lance Stroll should be a point away from a ban.
Yeah,
He
100%.
should have
Honestly.
been banned about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Nah, look, he's done all right. Like, he had a couple of good results, but his last 2 crashes have been real dangerous. Real reckless, real clumsy.
Yeah.
Real Lance Stroll.
Real Lance Stroll. Real dangerous, real clumsy. Real Lance Stroll.
Oh, that's the intro right there. Right, and the final sort of, I suppose this is a news item, is that later on this week, but he won't tell us when, Gunther Steiner is going to be announcing who is going to be Kevin Magnussen's teammate at Haas next year. Moving right along.
Is it an open secret that it's going to be Nico Hülkenberg? Or
Yes. Yeah, it's going.
If that's-
Everyone's leaning towards it's going to be Hulkenberg.
Where does Mick Schumacher go? He's going to have to go to Williams, surely.
Well, if Logan Sargent doesn't get the points,
I think
Mick
he's got-
Schumacher cannot be lost to Formula One because of Gene Haas and Gunther Steiner's petty shit.
What annoys me with him is like they had the goal to put 2 rookie drivers in the year they did, and then they're complaining about like accidents. It's like, well,
They're
what did you
complaining.
think
They're
that you
complaining
put them
about.
2 in? You like,
They're complaining about losing money now, but they were fine with it with Nikita Mazepin. Probably because his dad was paying the repair bill,
yeah, probably.
but now his dad's not there, and neither is he.
yeah.
I can only assume that's what it is because they never had this problem with Nikita.
But doesn't the repairs come out of the cap?
yes.
yes,
So they're paying the cap every year regardless, right?
yes.
Like it's not like so I don't understand what he's complaining about. Like,
I mean,
Maybe it
Nikita
hinders some-
Mazepin was there when there wasn't a cap.
yeah, right. Yeah. That makes
Now
more
that there
sense.
is a cap, and now all of a sudden it's a problem. But imagine if Nikita was still there.
Yeah, they'd be stuffed.
I mean, Nikita would always made Mick Schumacher look like his dad anyway, in comparison,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
And I mean, they keep blaming Schumacher for the car, for not getting results. But if you give him a half decent car, he can cook a bloody salad on it.
Doesn't stack up this weekend. Kevin Magnussen was on pole,
Yeah,
you know, in the same machinery.
but I think Mick,
Although Mick Schumacher did go from like 18th to 12th in the sprint race, so
he got the most amount of cars in one lap.
and he was in the top 10 in this race. He was 9th at one stage.
Yeah, I think
I don't think he was too far out of the top 10. In all fairness,
if you guys jibber jabber for 2 seconds,
He was in and around it.
yeah, well,
Around
he
that
was
10th
he was
position.
9th. I mean,
Mm.
after starting 18th in the sprint race, and then he was like in the top 10, and then K-Mag was taken out, so the whole Haas team could like focus on Mick at least, but while Kevin Magnussen was a right place, right time guy to put it on pole, I think Mick Schumacher showed that the Haas had pace regardless.
I just don't understand what they think they're going to get in Hulkenberg in terms of, okay, he might bring the car home, but is he going to bring any pace to the car to get you points?
Well, so Mick Schumacher finished 13th.
Okay.
Now, to answer your question, I think the problem is that Gene Haas doesn't want a rookie. He wants 2 experienced drivers. I think he feels like the rookie experiment failed and that they only took on 2 rookies because they
Financial
needed the
reasons.
money.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that he's always crowing on about, we can't afford this and we can't afford that, but he can afford it at the same time.
Yeah.
He sends mixed signals. And then you got Gunther Steiner, who he's got a prickly personality to begin with. I used to really like Gunther Steiner, but this year I've really soured on him because he seems like he's Gene Haas's stooge, but also he expects like a miracle, like the car's going to be perfect and the team's
Yeah,
going to
we've
win
given you the
races.
car. Why haven't you done anything with it? It's like
But-
you haven't given him anything.
The car was great at the start, but they haven't developed it. They
Yeah.
haven't done anything.
Yeah.
And if you're not developing, if you're not advancing your car, you're going backwards, and that's what's happened to Haas.
I don't know. I mean, the only problem is this weekend shows that, in spite of that, Kevin Magnussen put it on pole.
Yeah.
And Kevin Magnussen was the one that got the points at the start of the year. I can almost see where Gunther Stein is coming from, but I mean, but Mick hasn't had any bad crashes lately.
I just don't see. I would be maybe more okay with it if they were picking up a young, hot, up and coming driver.
Or Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, someone that I was like, that makes sense why you're going for them. But picking up Hulkenberg, to me, I just go,
It's head scratching.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I just don't understand what you're.
It's a safe bet. That's what it is. It's playing it safe. And I think that's what Haas's entire problem has been. In
Yeah.
their entire time of being in F1, is that everything's about playing it safe. Not taking a risk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, like, partnering up with Ferrari and getting as many parts from Ferrari as possible. That's playing it safe. Getting your chassis made by Dallara. That's playing it safe. It's almost lazy.
yes,
Yeah.
And then they're
that's
gonna
what it feels like.
and then
yeah.
they're going to take a driver like Hulkenberg, who is the driver equivalent of playing it safe and being lazy.
Yeah.
That's what
The-
he. That's
the-
what
Nothing
he is.
inspiring.
the,
nothing.
the most
about
races
it.
without a podium ever.
Yeah, and like he's just the team.
They have
the
two
current-
guys that are just the definition of playing it safe.
Yeah,
Kevin
but even
Magnussen and-
Magnussen to me gives you a little bit more
Magnussen
than
at least
Hulkenberg.
showed a little bit of flamboyancy this weekend.
Yeah. But, I mean, everything about the team, the livery, the logo, the driver that they want to put in, their entire philosophy of the team is just vanilla and lazy.
They're
Yeah.
easily the first team you'd scratch off if you got to pick a team to get rid of.
If Porsche wanted to buy a team, I would say buy Haas.
I wish Andretti could buy them.
Yeah.
Get
But
a proper
Gene-
American representation
But
from the
here's
Americas.
the thing. I don't think Gene Haas would sell the team. He
It
wouldn't-
has to be, as we were saying, we're like, what is it about him owning it? Because the whole time he's had it, it's always seemed like he wants to get rid of it, but he doesn't. And it's like,
Yeah.
it just has to be the only reason he's got it. It's just to be like to be able to brag to Penske and all the rest that he's got a team in Formula One, but he doesn't actually care about how well it does. It's just about saying he's got one there.
And it's a platform for him to whinge about how much money he's got to spend.
Yeah, it's like, well,
That's like-
sell it then to someone.
Yeah,
who,
if
who
you don't want
wants.
to be there, don't be there.
Yeah,
if you do
keep
want to be there,
you keep bitching about how much money you're spending.
Yeah.
You don't want to spend the money. Get out.
It's Formula. It's motorsport. It's expensive.
Go
Like,
back to NASCAR where it costs $5 to rebuild a car.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, what do you want? With your plastic shell and your fake headlights.
Exactly.
What do you want? A toy with your Happy Meal? Jesus Christ, mate!
Yes.
It's Formula One. It's the big roulette table, as a certain Lord Hesketh once said.
It's the big roulette table.
Big roulette table. You know,
Yeah.
if you step into F1, you know you're going to be spending money. You don't turn up and go, well, I'm sure we could get all the parts from Solly's.
Yeah.
which is what they've done.
Yeah.
Dallara chassis.
Yeah, Dallara chassis.
Silly Sollies. It's
That's
the Silly
your
Sollies
silly
chassis.
Solly's chassis.
And then we'll borrow parts from our neighbour.
Yeah, we'll get them from Ferrari.
Yeah. Just taking parts and
But
putting it on
then,
our sheet.
if another team does it, we're going to sit there and jump up and down and go, that's not really cool. Despite the fact you're doing it.
Yeah, well, hey, if Andretti and Audi come in and kick their ass, man, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
100%.
They need to show some humility.
Yeah, like you're coming 8th in the championship.
I mean, I don't know why you're not humble. Like, you were the worst team on the grid for like 3 years in a row.
Because they thought they were fucking rock stars. But they're just a bunch of fucking vankers.
They were never fucking rock stars.
They thought they were rock stars.
Yeah, for that one
Yeah,
race.
when they start winning races and competing for championships, I mean competing for championships, not showing up on the day and going, we're here.
Well, look,
Hi.
they did that in qualifying, let's be honest. They
Here's,
showed up on the day and K-Mag put it on
okay,
pole.
here's an interesting stat. We just brought up Lord Alexander Hesketh before,
Mhm.
right? Team Hesketh won more races than Haas.
Yeah. There's a lot of teams that have won more races than Haas.
Yeah. Like
I'm sure you could go back through-
Walter Wolf Racing won more races than Haas.
You can go through all the shit teams of the 90s and the early 2000s and there'll be more teams that won races than Haas.
How many? I don't think they did, but I think Copper fucking Suco didn't win a race.
Yeah, no, they were backed by the Brazilian government, so
Yeah,
There we go,
that
there we
explains it.
they ran their engines on sugar cane, pretty sure. or cocaine. Wouldn't it too?
No, that's
Surprised they didn't win then if it was.
Yeah, right.
That's Colombia, not Brazil.
Oh, just close enough.
Same country.
Same country.
Yeah, no, I just
That twinge in my gut just then was like 20 million South Americans about to take my head off.
yeah.
Just call Brazil and Colombia the same country. Heading into the FIFA World Cup?
Oops.
Dear. That's alright, go to the Middle East, you bastards. Hope your air-conditioned stadium's worth the £80 beer you're going to buy.
Are they even selling beer?
Yes, in the
Are they?
pubs. £80. A beer.
What?
$120 Corona.
I
I
think
bitched about the $9 schooner of beer I just had in Brisbane. 100.
Is this a joke?
No, nope. It's a dry country, but if you want to drink, it will be in the pubs, and they'll be $120 a beer.
Hey, at least
And if you're publicly intoxicated, you're going to jail, son. In fact, you're probably going to get killed.
beheaded.
this is
Yeah.
just
Welcome to Qatar.
what a joke of a World Cup, hey?
Yeah, it's terrible. Anyway,
All,
we're getting
all,
off track.
all I can think is at least it'll make sure that the soccer hooligans' teeth are still in one piece.
Well, they won't be drunk.
There won't be
Yeah.
any hooligans.
There won't be anyone
Yeah,
there.
maybe, yeah.
They've got like this tent city in the middle of the desert. That's where they expect the fans to stay.
Yeah, and it looks like crap.
And
This is the World Cup Australia was not awarded
Yes.
because
Due
of
to
bribery
corruption.
money.
Yeah.
I hope it's the biggest flaw
You know what's
ever.
even the most disgusting thing about that is now Seb Blatter, the corrupt guy who made all this happen, come out and says a couple of weeks before we get there, yeah, it was probably the wrong decision to go to Qatar.
He's a mistake.
Oh, did you say that from your bloody three holiday homes that they paid for you to have?
he said that from the back of his yacht in the Mediterranean.
Yeah,
yeah, that he
Jesus.
drove there in his Bugatti Veyron.
His gold-plated Bugatti Veyron.
Yeah.
I
Bugatti
almost.
Chiron.
This is one of those things where I almost wish people would actually just boycott it completely. Like actually show that
Could
people
Qatar
shouldn't be allowed to
intro-
get around with corruption and have this shit happen.
You say you boycott it. Qatar's doing everything they can to make people boycott it.
Yeah, and still
Come to
people
the-
are like, "Oh, soccer, I gotta go."
Come to the desert.
Eh.
Sleep in the desert. You're not allowed to get drunk. You're not allowed to have gay public relations at all, or
Yeah.
we'll kill you.
Even you like non-marital
Yeah.
relations, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Like-
your women have to be covered up.
Probably.
Yeah.
Who in their right mind
Yeah, well,
is going to that World Cup?
look at when WWE's in Saudi Arabia.
And the women have to wrestle in like burqas and shit.
No, not in burqas,
Oh,
but
and
they
they're
have to wear
full-
They have to wear pants and shirts,
Yeah.
and only their hands, their heads, like their faces, their necks,
Yeah,
are allowed to be shown. Everything else has to be covered up.
yeah.
It can't have anything revealing. Like it's got to be fucking watertight.
You're wearing a pajama, like long pajamas.
Yeah, but it's got to be
Essentially.
like tight
Yeah,
because of what they do.
yeah. You've got to
Yeah.
be able to move in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like wearing skins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're pretty much just wearing skins for a whole
Like a
month.
full body
Like
speedo.
a Power Ranger morph suit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, anyway, we're way off topic, boys.
So, yeah.
Back to Haas.
Back
But
to Haas.
like if they get rid of Mick Schumacher, I think that's the dumbest thing ever. I think Mick Schumacher does have talent.
I think he's deserved another year
Yeah.
for sure.
But if they get rid of him, his only shot of staying on the F1 grid is if Logan Sargent doesn't get enough points for a super license.
Yeah. Yep. Unfortunately, I
And-
think
And
that'll be him.
the thing is, that's a very real possibility that he might not get enough points to get
Yeah,
the
I think
super
he's got to
license.
get higher than 6.
Yeah.
What is
So
the
it's-
relationship with the team if he does actually is forced to be like stick around another year? Like maybe not Mick at Haas. Like what if they don't decide? What if they announce Mick
Yeah.
is the driver?
All this and they
What
just
if they just
announced
pull a
Mick.
swerve? I don't think it will though. I think Mick's relationship is fractured. I think his best chance is somehow Sargent doesn't get enough super license points and Williams out of desperation take
It's
him.
definitely severed with Haas because I mean you don't publicly come out and how do you really expect to give a young guy confidence the way they've handled Mick? Like I don't know. I just don't know if that helps him get better if that's what you're wanting
No,
out of him.
Definitely doesn't.
So
I think it just highlights that Gunther Steiner really isn't that great a team boss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
there-
put-
there's-
isn't, yeah.
there
You
is
put
a
the
cer-
blowtorch on him pretty hard. Like
yeah, but there is a certain way of dealing with things, and his, smash the nail with the hammer as hard as possible thing, it doesn't always work.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, look at how we felt about Zach Brown, Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, we're pretty angry about that too.
You know?
But yeah, I mean it's the same situation. Daniel's getting paid a shitload more money than Mick Schumacher.
Because he's got a lot more market equity.
Yeah, but the thing is the same.
Yeah.
You know, he's not getting the results.
Yeah.
McLaren at least showed that they had a half decent car this year.
And at least Zach Brown came out and said, look, we didn't give him the car that was good enough to match his talent.
Yeah,
He's-
that's something Gunther Steiner hasn't said.
Yeah.
Gunther Steiner hasn't come out and said, "Oh, we haven't given Mick the car to match his talent."
No.
At least Zach Brown was man enough to admit his decision was, "We're paying him too much money. We didn't deliver, but neither has he really."
The
Yeah.
whole situation. Was,
Yeah, neither of us came to the party with it.
Yeah.
It's better to do a clean break and try something new.
Yeah.
Whereas Gunther Steiner's just like, Mick Schumacher's the
Yeah,
problem.
this is all your fault.
I would
Yeah.
have rather them just come out and said that they didn't think he was developing enough. But the problem is that you wouldn't be able to say that and then get Hulkenberg because you just get. I mean, look, you're getting smashed for doing it anyway. That's what as we're saying. But I just almost wish they sort of said that their issue was that Magnussen's so far ahead and they didn't see Schumacher catching it or something like that. But
This
the problem
is
is they're going out and getting Nico Hulkenberg. That is the
Yeah.
problem. It's like they're not showing any like drive to go further by like, well, we're going to go another young hot gun hoping
No, they're
he's
just
the
they're
next,
just finding
whoever it
scapegoats
is.
for their own.
Yeah,
You know what this
to be
is?
safe on the
This
grid.
is that meme where old mate puts the stick through his own bike tire and falls off.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, damn Mick Schumacher. Gunther Steiner just puts the stick through the tread of his own front tire and falls off the bike.
oh,
this
young
is
drivers
all,
crashing.
This is all
Oh.
Mick Schumacher's fault.
You're right.
Don't blame, you know,
I mean, look at
the
look
car
at
you failed to develop or the camaraderie within your team that you failed to develop, or you've got
Confidence,
Gene
yeah.
Haas stepping on your throat because why isn't my team successful? It's successful in NASCAR.
Yeah. Why no win? Why don't I have a world champion?
Yeah, what the
I'm
this
tired
was-
of spending money, but why don't I have a world champion? I don't understand.
I spent more money on this project than I ever did on NASCAR, and I've got and probably IndyCar, and I've got championships there.
Yeah, it feels like it would honestly be his thought process.
Is it? Yeah, it's probably more Gene Haas's fault.
But, I mean,
I
look,
think Gunther Steiner is just like feeling the pressure of Gene Haas. I mean, you know, and when Mick goes, and when it's Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg next year, and you've just got the two most bland, boring drivers on the grid doing bland, vanilla driving
Yeah.
to.
Bringing the
12
cars home safe and
in their
17th
bland
and
vanilla
16th.
cars,
Hey, at least the cars aren't broken.
with their bland vanilla cars, with their bland vanilla livery. You know, but I mean, look at their other option is Antonio Giovinazzi.
Well,
Who crashed in practice one.
Yeah, way to set the world
We
on
haven't heard
fire.
much about him anymore after that, have we?
He went
No,
real
no,
quiet after that
yeah,
weekend.
it did, didn't it? It was
Yeah.
like, well, we've got Giovinazzi and I mean, we've got Hulkenberg.
We've
I
got
mean,
Giovinazzi. Oh, Giovinazzi's in the wall in turn 4. We've got Hulkenberg.
Hulkenberg's at home, like retired, like eating Cheetos. Like, hey, what? Did I hear my name? Like, I thought I was retired. I'm 39.
Hulkenberg's
What?
sitting on the couch with a cigar. He's got the DiCaprio meme playing at the TV. Hey, look, there's Giovinazzi in the wall. That's me. I'm out there.
except
I'm out there.
slightly larger to the point where he's become Bulkenberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, look, if they got rid of Mick Schumacher and brought Robert Schwartzman in,
Yes, I'd be all right with that. You give it.
I could understand that.
Yeah.
Or they got rid of Mick Schumacher and they managed to get Callum Ilott to come back.
Yeah.
You know, someone who's got something.
Felipe Drugovich, like some young.
Oh, look, I
talent
wouldn't mind if
that's-
they brought back Felipe Massa.
Yeah,
Bring
You
back
look-
Rubens Barrichello. I don't give a shit.
yeah.
At least they've won races.
Races,
What
yeah.
has Hulkenberg done? Absolutely nothing.
Probably because he's cheap, honestly.
Cheap, yeah. Yeah, but so
Buy
is
a
a young
budgie.
driver.
If you want cheap, buy a budgie.
A Formula 2 driver would be pretty cheap, though. Just saying.
What, like Drogovic?
Like Drugovich.
I would have liked to see Schwartzman, actually. That's one name. Yeah, if they had brought that in, I'd be like, okay, I'm
Well,
with that. You're bringing in, you know.
Schwartzman's the reserve driver for Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but God, you know, it just aggravates me. Like Schumacher he's got talent.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be F3 and F2 champion
Without it.
yeah.
Now we got to wait for Audi to come in 2026 so he can be lead driver there.
To see
Yeah.
him come back, yeah.
Oh,
They'll
well,
prob-
look,
they'll
maybe,
probably
maybe
put-
it'll be for the best.
Maybe they'll put
His
him and Hulk.
confidence is completely fucked. Like,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
away, realize it's not your fault, and that Gunther Steiner and Gene Haas are fuckwits,
Yeah.
and then come back with Audi and meet Haas head on and kick their
Yeah.
Hasses.
Kick their
Let
Haas.
them
Kick
look
their
like
Haas.
let them look like fucking wankers next year when they've got Nico Hulkenberg and Magnussen
Well,
Yeah.
imagine the
getting
driver
P17,
lineup.
18. and-
Imagine the driver lineup at Audi at 2026 being Schumacher and Hulkenberg. Wow, that's
Oh,
just
gosh. And Hulkenberg still hasn't got a podium
yeah, yeah.
or points.
And Haas is
Since-
sitting there going, "It was his
Yeah,
fault.
yeah.
It was his fault." They'll bring back Sebastian Vettel. They hire Alonso.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Alonso will still be
Oh.
looking for a seat. Sure. He will,
Yeah.
yeah.
Selling himself all over the grid like a Formula One whore. Just everyone have me.
He'll just be finishing up at AlphaTauri or something. He's just gone through another team. Is there even a team left on the grid? He hasn't been at.
Williams.
Williams.
Oh gosh, no.
He'll go from Aston Martin to Williams, and then by the time Williams is done, he'll try and get the Audi seat.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Remember 2006?
Yeah, yeah.
Fernando, you're
That was-
48 for fuck's sake.
But that was
You've got
me.
a walking frame.
He's got
But
He's got grey hair and glasses
But
now.
I beat Schumacher in 2006. Oh.
He's been in a coma for like a decade, man. Let it go.
Right. So moving right along, we have got the driver standings, which I'm, for a change, because he's done a lot of talking tonight, I'm going to hand it over to Longhorn instead of JB.
Alrighty. 2022 driver standings after the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. We have Max Verstappen.
Isn't his name Axe Verstappen?
Max Verstappen, yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I haven't posted that yet.
No, yeah.
No.
That's we have Max Verstappen in first with 429 gold points. In second, we have Charles Leclerc with 290 points. And tied in second, but sitting in third, we have Sergio Perez also on 290 points. So it's going to be an interesting race at Abu Dhabi. In fourth, we've got George Russell with 265 points. Fifth, Lewis Hamilton with 240 points. Sixth, Carlos Sainz with 234 points. Seventh, Lando Norris with 113 points. Eighth, Esteban Ocon with 86 points. Ninth, Fernando Alonso with 81 points. And rounding out the 10, we have Valtteri Bottas with 49 points.
And the team standings, the Constructors' champions are Red Bull Racing on 719 points. Second in the Constructors' Championship with a lead of 19 points is Ferrari on 524. Mercedes is in third with 505 points. In fourth is Alpine with 167 points. Fifth is McLaren with 148 points. Alfa Romeo is in sixth with 55 points. Aston Martin is in seventh with 50 points. Haas is in eighth with 37 points. AlphaTauri is in ninth with 35 points. And Williams is still at the bottom with 8 points.
One more race to go and 4 battles to sort out.
I have this sneaking suspicion Ferrari might just hang on to second.
I think Alpine's got us.
I think Alpine's got McLaren. I think Alfa Romeo is going to hold off Aston Martin. But for some reason, I think AlphaTauri is going to get Haas.
Just out of sheer spite,
Yep.
I want AlphaTauri to get Haas.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
But then Mick Schumacher will probably lose his seat.
He's going to lose it regardless. Let
Yeah.
them announce it and then let AlphaTauri and get like
What do I think at the
4
end of
points.
the, like that last, they'll announce Hulkenberg's got the seat. And Schumacher will just go, look, there's an AlphaTauri behind me and I'm in the points. I'll just slow down a little bit and just let them pass.
Nah, be super petty and just hit K-Mag on the first lap. Just be super petty about it. Just be like, oops. Didn't see oh, we're both in the wall.
What's
Oh,
that? Doing it again.
oops. I'll see you back at Park Ferme, motherfucker.
What the hell are you doing to me? I'll tell you when you're 18.
It's like, all right, you go to the team briefing, K-Mag. I'm going to go to my trailer and go home.
That's a reference to
Enjoy.
my mate Wit from high school, so.
Enjoy having Nico Hulkenberg as your bland teammate.
Yeah. Your vanilla teammate.
Your vanilla ice cream and your flavorless jelly.
Yeah, it's odd that we're sitting there saying they're a vanilla team when their primary colour is white.
And they're both blonde.
Yeah, that too.
It's very vanilla of them.
Right. So, if you wish to interact with us here at the F1 Chat, you can come to the YouTube channel if you're not already watching this on YouTube. The F1 Chat, which is care of the Vindicator 18 channel. You can interact with us on Facebook by going into the F1 Chat. You can interact with us on Twitter, the F1 Chat 1.
Don't forget the one.
Don't forget the one. We're on Rumble, which is the F1 Chat, and on the Spotify as the F1 Chat. Now, the next race, I believe, is in 2 weeks' time.
No, it's next week.
Is it?
They're going straight to Abu Dhabi.
Are they?
Hey, look
I
out.
believe
Ah.
so. I
I
believe.
thought it was 2-week break.
Yeah, I thought it was 2
I
weeks.
believe they are going straight to Abu Dhabi.
See,
Everyone's
we
We're
should
gonna have
have
to check
done
on
our
that.
research before we started the episode.
We should have. 18th of November. That's this coming weekend, boys.
Yep,
They're
you're right.
going straight to Abu Dhabi.
Right, so it is next week.
Wrapping this bad boy up.
So next week is the Abu Dhabi F1
Finale
to the
2022.
to the first season of the new ground effect cars.
Yes.
And then I think 2 weeks after that, we'll be able to sit down and do our full end of season.
Yeah, the
Wrap-up
season
episode.
finale for season 2022 for us.
Yes,
Mm.
where Johnny will have to do more homework.
Oh my god.
Hey.
Right. Well, on behalf of JB and Longhorn and myself, thank you for tuning in this week to the F1 Chat. Until next week, it is goodbye.